This is the story of Mia, her father, and a Maine Coon named Luna. If you've never seen a Maine Coon up close, imagine a cat that somehow convinced nature it deserved to be the size of a small dog. About 18 pounds of silky fur, tufted ears, and an expression that says she's quietly judging every decision you've ever made. When Mia first brought Luna home, her father, a quiet, practical man named Robert, took one long look at her and said, "That's not a cat, that's a roommate with fur." He was more right than he knew. Mia lives with her father on the outskirts of Portland, Oregon, just the two of them, in a house that has always been a little too quiet. Robert lost his wife 8 years ago. Mia moved back in to help with the house and never quite left. Neither of them are big talkers. They're good at being in the same room without saying much. They eat dinner at the same table every night, watch the same evening news, go to bed at roughly the same time. A steady, unhurried kind of life, the kind that doesn't leave much room for surprises. Luna was the surprise. She came into their lives 5 years ago when she was just a kitten, all paws and attitude and a look in her eyes that said she had already decided how things were going to go. The vet said she was going to be big. Nobody understood what big meant until she outgrew her cat bed at 4 months, then Mia's lap at 6, and eventually claimed the entire left side of the living room couch as her permanent, non-negotiable personal territory. Robert tried moving her once. Luna looked at him, he sat somewhere else. He hasn't tried again since. She was never a lap cat in the traditional sense. She didn't curl up and purr on command. She didn't come running when you called her name unless she had already decided she wanted to, in which case she arrived on her own schedule and expected full attention upon entry. She was affectionate on her own terms, warm but measured, present but deliberate, exactly like the two people she lived with. When Luna was 8 months old, she was spayed. Standard procedure. She had to wear the cone for 10 days afterward. And that's where the story takes a turn. Mia never threw the cone out. It wasn't a decision, really. It just ended up on the floor near the bookshelf in the hallway, and she kept meaning to toss it and never did. Luna recovered perfectly. The vet was pleased. Life moved on. The cone stayed. Then, one afternoon, about 3 weeks after the surgery, Mia and Robert were in the kitchen. Robert was chopping vegetables, Mia was setting the table. A soft shuffling sound came from the hallway, the kind of sound you feel more than you hear. They both turned around. Luna, walking toward them, wearing the cone. She hadn't been sick. She hadn't been hurt. She had simply found it where it had been sitting for 3 weeks, put her head through it, and walked directly into the kitchen with the same calm, deliberate energy she brings to everything she does. She sat down in the middle of the floor and stared. Not a meow, not a sound, just the stare. The full Maine Coon, I have arrived and I require your attention immediately stare. The kind that makes you feel like you've been summoned to a meeting you didn't know was scheduled. Mia looked at her father, Robert looked at Luna. The kitchen was completely silent except for the sound of something simmering on the stove. Then Robert set down his knife, crouched down slowly, and reached under the edge of the cone. He scratched Luna behind the ear, gently, carefully, the way you touch something you're not sure you fully understand yet. Luna closed her eyes, and then she started purring. Not a soft, polite purr, a deep, rolling, room-filling purr that seemed too large to be coming from any single animal. Robert looked up at Mia. He didn't say anything for a moment. Then he said, very quietly, "She did that on purpose." Mia said, "Yeah, Dad, I think she did." From that day on, it became a ritual. Not every day, but often enough that it stopped being a surprise and started being simply part of how the house worked. Luna would find the cone wherever it had been left, slide her head through it, and come find one of them, wherever they happened to be. In the kitchen, in the living room, at the desk. She'd walk in like she owned the place, which by any reasonable measure, she did. Robert started looking forward to it. He would never have admitted that out loud, but Mia noticed the way he glanced toward the hallway sometimes in the evenings, the way his expression shifted slightly when he heard that familiar shuffling sound on the hardwood floor. He was waiting for her.
For a man who had spent 8 years learning how to live quietly in a house that felt too large, Luna had found a way in that nothing else had, not through drama or need or grand gestures, just by putting on a plastic cone and walking into the room and staring at him until he paid attention. Mia watched this happen gradually, the way you watch a season change, not in a single moment, but in small, accumulated shifts. The way Robert started keeping the cone in the same spot so Luna could always find it easily. The way he learned, without being told, that scratching just under the left edge of the cone was where Luna preferred it. The way he sometimes said goodnight to her before he said goodnight to Mia. Small things, the kind of small things that over time become everything. I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to see what comes next. The cone lives face down on the hallway floor now. Luna learned to put it on herself. She lowers her head, finds the opening, and shakes it into place with a small, practiced motion. It takes her about 4 seconds. Then she walks through the house, sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes for 20, with all the dignity of someone who has absolutely no idea they look ridiculous, which is to say complete and total dignity. Head high, tail up. 18 pounds of Maine Coon moving through the rooms like she's walking a runway only she can see. She is very careful with it. She never bites it, never claws it. In 5 years, the cone hasn't even cracked. It has, however, developed a character of its own, slightly worn at the edges, a little soft from years of use, faintly marked with the particular history of a cat who chose it and kept choosing it. Robert calls it her crown. Mia has never corrected him. Now, here's where it gets interesting. About a year ago, Mia's college friend came to visit for a weekend. She saw a photo of Luna and the cone and, meaning well, ordered her a new one online before the visit. Pink, padded, with little silver stars on the fabric. She arrived at the door holding it like a gift, proud of herself. Luna walked up to it, sniffed it once, and looked at Mia's friend the way she looks at things she finds deeply beneath her consideration. She walked away. She did not look back. Mia tried everything over the following days. She placed the new cone where the old one usually sat. She put it next to Luna's food bowl. She rested it on the couch, on the floor, near the window, every location she could think of. She even, in a moment of mild desperation, placed the old cone directly beside the new one, thinking Luna might make a comparison and come around. Luna walked past the new cone every single day as if it did not exist. She went straight for the original, the same worn, slightly yellowed plastic cone from 5 years ago, the one the vet had handed them in a paper bag on the way out of the clinic after Luna's surgery. That one. Only that one. Nobody knows why. They've stopped asking. Robert summed it up one evening while watching Luna make her entrance, cone on, purring already beginning somewhere deep in her chest before she'd even reached the living room. He said, without looking up from his book, "You can't upgrade something that's already perfect to her." Some stories don't arrive with explanations. They arrive with 18 pounds of fur and a plastic cone and a stare that says simply, "I'm here. Are you paying attention?" Luna is 5 years old now. She's healthy. She's enormous. She is, without a question, the most self-possessed living creature in that house on the outskirts of Portland. She decides when she wants affection. She decides how long she stays in a lap. She decides when the cone comes on and when it comes off. And when she walks into a room wearing it, something shifts. The television gets muted. The book gets set down. Robert looks up. The house is still quiet most of the time, but it's a different kind of quiet than it used to be. It's the kind that has a Maine Coon somewhere in it, waiting, watching, deciding when it's time to put on the cone and walk down the hallway and remind two people who are very good at being alone that they don't have to be. Mia would never take the cone away from her. It belongs to Luna the way certain things belong to certain creatures, completely, inexplicably, and without negotiation. It gives her something that nobody can fully name. You can see it in the way she carries herself when she has it on. A little taller, a little softer, like she knows exactly what she's doing, like she's always known. Some animals show you who they are slowly over years. Luna showed this family in a single afternoon. She put on a plastic cone, walked into the kitchen, and stared at them until they understood. Robert still reaches for his book after dinner, but he always leaves one ear open for the sound of shuffling in the hallway, and every time he hears it, he sets the book down first. If you have a pet with a strange little habit that somehow became the most sacred part of your day, drop it in the comments. A toy they carried everywhere, a spot no one else was allowed to sit, a ritual that made no sense to anyone outside your home. Tell me about it below. I want to hear every single one.